sales return scenario where the disposition code is credit. So let's see the disposition code first. So we go to the sales and marketing, and in the setup we see return and then the disposition code. Let's create a new one. So just I need to show you what disposition code actions available. So the credit only, scrap, replace and credit, replace and scrap, return to customer. So in this series, we will try to cover each of this type. Let's talk about the return. So when the disposition code is credit, so the customer needs to send back the item, and we put that item back into the inventory and give credit to the customer. Okay. So we already have this disposition code 11 created, put item back into the inventory and give credit to the customer. Okay. So let's create a sales order. I go to account receivable, all sales order, new. So I pick a customer. So I'm selecting this below one, warehouse 11. I say okay. And I pick one item, this one. And we're selling one each, and the price is 1,000. So let's first see the on hand of this. So I go to this item and then the on hand. So on hand at warehouse 11 is 998. So I save this, post the packing slip. I'm sorry, my system a bit slow. Okay. Yes. Let's do the invoice as well. And before doing the invoice, let's see the on hand. So before it was 998, so it's reduced by 1. So it's 997 now. So let's do the invoice. Okay. Okay. The sales order number is 2039. Okay. So let's go to the customer and then see the customer transactions. The customer is US001. Go to the transactions. So after doing the invoice is 743, if you go to the invoice, it's 744. So refresh it. Yeah, invoice is 744. That's a voucher number. So this is debit is $1,000. So we need to get this much from the customer. So somehow customer don't want that, and then the customer called the sales team, and they accepted the return. So let's create a sales return for this. I go to sales and marketing, returns, all return, create a new one. Customer is calling, so we know the customer number, and the warehouse we know it's 11. So return reason code it's mandatory. So let's see where we made that mandatory. So I just wanted to show that. If we go to account receivable parameters. So here, like in this tab, so reason code for return order is yes, that's mandatory. That's one thing. Other thing I wanted to show, like what's the significance of the reason code. So if I go to sales and management again, setup, return, reason codes. So let's say the reason code is 21 defective. I can associate the charges with that reason code. So here I can add the charge. Maybe it's the handling charge or the freight or whatever. Like if the customer is sending something back and that's not our fault. Customer like ordered the wrong item, so it's and he accepting that, and he is like accepting to pay some charge as well. So we can associate some charge. So when we're creating the return, so we can make that the return reason code mandatory. So when I select S21, if there is any charge associated with this reason code, so that will be applied. So that's something I wanted to show. I don't want that, so I delete this. I keep nothing, like it just maybe for analysis. So I just added the reason code. So I'm saying okay. Okay, so we have a sales return order, and we have the RMA numbers. We can provide this RMA and all these details to the customer. So before doing that, let's find the sales order. So we can ask the customer to share the sales order number or the invoice number or some detail of the item number. So this is the customer sharing the invoice number. So this is the invoice number, and this is the item which the customer intend to return. So I say, okay, no, we got this. We save it, and we can send the return order to the customer. So if I get this and I say, okay. So here you see the RMA number and all the details. We can print this, we can email this and send it to the customer back. Like we are expecting this item coming back to us. So the customer plan to send that item to us. Okay. And the next thing is like if I go to the right, so here we see like the return status is expected. Like we're expecting this item to be coming back. Let's say the customer is sending that item back to us and we will receiving in the warehouse. So I don't want to go into that warehouse details. So I'm doing that receiving here from this form. So I do the registration. I click this. So here I need to select the disposition code. As we like discussed, like we're going to select this. The action is credit. So I'm selecting this 11. Okay. This is order, so I'm adding registration. I'm confirming it, and I close this. So if you refresh this, so the return status is registered. Okay. So if I go to the sales order is 2040, so I can go to the header And here you see the sales order 2040. So this is at this time before like doing this registration, this was not available, but now it's available. So if you click this, so this is a sales order which is available. It's basically the return order. And here we can do the packing. So I post the packing slip. Okay. Okay. And if I show you the inventory, it's 998. If I refresh it, it's 998. So that 1 unit is coming back to the inventory. Okay, so let's close this. And then we need to do the invoice. So we can send this to the customer, showing that we've given credit to the customer. So I'm saying, okay, okay. If we go to the invoice, and I can show you the voucher. So the customer get a like a account receivable, it's a credit of $1,000. And if I go to the view original, the on end is like 998. If I go to the customer transaction, so this is the customer 001. If I refresh it, so the customer got back. So the invoice, the credit note is 7. So you'll see the credit note is 7. The customer is getting back the credit of $1,000, which can be adjusted in the other transactions when we're doing the settlement. Okay, we don't want to see that invoice, so that's okay. So that's it. So what we learned in this session, like we created one sales order and then we created the sales return and the disposition code was credited. That means we received the item back and we did that by registering it. And then we posted the packing slip and then we did the invoice and that invoice created a credit to the customer. So the sales return order basically created a sales order. So that's it. So if you have any related scenario with this, kindly share in comments. I will update that. Thank you.